Good morning, Nigeria. Welcome. It's Daybreak Live on Dominion Television. And as always, it's a pleasure to start the day with you. My name is Abby Dickinson.
And I am Samson Balogo. It's great to be here with you in the studio this morning. It's a chilly Wednesday morning,
yes.
And I can say that as a result of the rainfall yesterday.
It was really chilly overnight.
It's a little bit
I
chilly.
covered myself. I felt cool
Honestly,
all through the night. It's been raining for the past 2 days now, really heavy downpour.
And
so
that has had an effect on the weather.
So how are you, Samson?
Well, I'm doing pretty
Wow, you
fine.
look wonderful.
Well, thank you.
I like this, your combination.
You look very good too.
Wow. Master speak PG. You know they won't grill. You know they agree again. All right, welcome. So what are we looking at today, sir?
To shake Nigeria's political landscape in recent times. This is not the first time, but then the recent defections from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress, the APC in Nigeria, has really made waves in the last few weeks. And judging by the defections, a whole cabinet in Delta State moved to the APC, an endorsement for the for the president from the Akwa Ibom State government, and then here and there has been individuals, even in Osun State, a sitting lawmaker defected to the All Progressives Congress. It shows that it's a wave, and it is strengthening the political structure of the People's Democratic Party. Would they be able to carpeting started in Nigeria, and that will take us back to what cross-carpeting is in particular. We'll say cross-carpeting refers to an act of politicians defecting or switching allegiance from one political party to another. And in Nigeria, this has become a common and strategic move among politicians, especially close to elections. So when the election is coming, you know that Nigerian politicians, they are bound to actually move from one political party to the other. Now, let's go to 1960 to 1966, which is the First Republic. Cross-carpeting first gained national attention in the First Republic. The most notable instance occurred in the Western region in 1951, before independence, when several members of the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroon's NCNC defected. Cross-carpeting that has happened in the history of Nigeria.
And you know, with all these that you've said and the defections, cross-carpeting, as you can put it, you know, this week is too weak or fragmented. I mean, this creates a one-party dominance, and we know what that can lead to. Now, if you look at it from the Nigerian Constitution in section 68, I think paragraph 1G, if I'm right, you know, it doesn't say you cannot defect, but what's the reason for defection?
There's a crack or
doing this for public service or for the people. It looks more, just like you say, for personal gain, and that's why a lot of people are raising eyebrows to say what is really happening.
You know, Abby, when you talk about what the law says about defections in Nigeria, you understand the fact that it is only in Nigeria that a law is interpreted the way they want it to look,
not like
when
how it should be.
When they want it to favor them, not like how it should be.
Exactly.
Now, you ask questions about sitting lawmakers defecting from one political party to the other in Nigeria, and then you ask them why. They will tell you a way of interpreting electoral laws in Nigeria.
Great.
Do we have antecedents? Do we have precedences? Because in law, they will tell you is the judgment that was given at the time, and then we are towing that same part at this time. So they work on precedences. And if we have so scattered our precedences to the extent that we don't even know which one works for which law at what time, then it becomes a problem. Now, we have to ask, probably one of these days we'll talk about electoral laws in Nigeria. Election, I think, third year, and eventually became the governor.
Exactly.
So this qualified, and then Duejuri became the governor of Bayelsa State. Then again,
it happened
somewhere else, and then the name issue did not affect such person. Then what, we begin to ask questions. If it affects this person, why not the other person? How do you interpret your laws?
How do you interpret the laws? We need to look at a lot of things. I mean, just like I said, the electorate is there, and they put you in position, and before you know, you just jump ship like that. How do you think they will feel? Or should we talk about the youths of today? You know, I mean, you are showing them the ropes. Is this what is happening these days? We still have the older people.
All right. Lastly, before we round up on that, we have to talk about this before we go, and it is quite important.
And then we need to look at integrity too.
They also understand, politicians should also understand the fact that when people vote for you, they vote for the ideology of that political party too, in as much as they vote for individuals. So of your political party. So the moment you are cross-carpeting, especially when you are not going to the same to another political party with the same ideology, then it becomes a problem. Imagine, you know, as a conservative, you have been voted for to be a legislator, and all of a sudden you decide to be a progressive. Then how do you merge these ideologies? Do you really know what these ideologies means as a politician?
Because every party has their own ideologies.
That's why we are going to bring a politician on this show. We'll talk about ideologies and what it means to them. And that brings us to the end of this segment on the show this morning. We now go on a short break, and when we return, Daybreak News is up next on Dominion Television, your channel of choice. Don't forget you can be a part of the conversation by linking up with us on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast. And on X, it is at Dominion Cast. Don't forget, you can also watch us live on our website at dominion.org.ng, at dominion.org.ng. We'll be back after this time out.
Good morning. This is Ray. He said the reassignment is also a part of continuous effort to enhance operational efficiency, foster innovation, and strengthen service delivery across the Federal Civil Service in alignment with the renewed hope agenda of the present administration. According to the directive, all handover and End 25. As assured of reducing the trend of tuberculosis and poverty among youth and women of this country. Senator Tinubu made this assurance during the Renewed Hope Food Outreach Scheme Group Vulnerable Initiative held at the Oyo State Local Government Service Commission Building, Secretariat, Agodi, Ibadan. stressing the negative impact of tuberculosis on Nigeria's youth, the women, and saying that her leadership has made plans to set up environmental clubs among secondary school students, as well as make the wife of the Vice President of Nigeria, Hajia Nana Shettima, added that the administration of Bola Tinubu flagging off food item distribution to vulnerable groups in Oyo, Ibadan makes it extended to 10 states, including Benue, Cross River, Delta, Edo, Ekiti, Gombe. Shettima added that the food items received from the anonymous donor are targeted at vulnerable youth and women, while 250 disabilities across each of the 36 states will be empowered for recapitalization of their respective funds, as well as 10,000 pack of menstrual pads for selected girl child for better livelihood. The event, which had in attendance Oyo State Governor Engineer Seyi Ibadan, Oba Owolabi Olakuleyin, to mention a few. The Minister of Interior documents in Nigeria. He made this known during a meeting in Abuja with the United Kingdom Minister of State, David Hanson. In the company of Hanson were delegates from the UK Home Office, National Crime Agency, and the British High Commission. According to Tunji Ojo, the initiative aimed to tackle immigration and document fraud, particularly with those associated with border control. The National Emergency Management Agency, in collaboration with other relevant agencies, has received 203 Nigeria returnees who were stranded in Libya. The returnees arrived at the Muritala Muhammad International Airport cargo terminal in Lagos on Monday. Adult males, 96 adult females, 29 children, and 28 infants. The agency stated that the repatriation was carried out with the support of the International Organization for Migration under its voluntary humanitarian return program and coordinated with the assistance of several Nigerian government agencies, including National Commission for Refugee, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Nigeria's Immigration Service, and the Department of State Services. Other agencies include the repatriation of Port Health Services and the Nigerian Police Force. The Corporate Affairs Commission has issued a 6-week notice to unregistered businesses to register with the Commission. This was disclosed in a statement issued by the CAC. In the statement, the CAC said that failure to comply with the notice will attract a jail term or prosecution. The Commission informed the general public that it is a criminal offense under Section 863 of the Companies and Allied Matter Act 2020 to carry on business in Nigeria as a company, limited liability partnership, limited partnership, or under a business name without registration. He also noted that it is an offense to operate under a name or acronym other than the one registered under the Act. The public was further advised that Section 729 of the Act requires every registered company to display its registered name and registration number at every business location. In business, the Executive Director of Nigerian Export Promotion Council, Noye Ayeni, has revealed that Nigeria's non-oil export performance for the first quarter of 2025 reached $1.7 billion. Marking a 24.7% increase from $1.4 billion recorded in the same period in 2024. Speaking during the presentation of the first quarter non-oil export progress report in Abuja, Ayeni also noted a significant rise in export volume, which climbed to 2.4 million metric tons. She also attributed the growth to the success of the Council's various export intervention programs, particularly the Double Your Exports campaign. Now talking sports, former Ultimate Fighting Championship middleweight champion Israel Adesanya has made it clear that he wants another shot at Sean Strickland. Adesanya, who ended his second title reign in September 2023, faced a challenging stretch in his career with 3 consecutive losses, but is channeling his frustration and anger as motivation for a potential rematch. The rivalry between Adesanya and Strickland began at UFC 290 29-3 in Sydney, where Strickland pulled off a major upset, defeating Adesanya by unanimous decision and claiming the middleweight title. You can visit us on our website at www.dominion.org.ng to interact with us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Cast. That ends the Daybreak News. My name is Sarah Owane.
All right, welcome back. It's
on page 4, and that story is credited to the FG, the Federal Government of Nigeria, and the writers of this story says he earmarks over 110 billion to revamp 18 varsities medical schools, and then Kwara needs over 100 doctors. Hospital Management Board. We spoke about brain drain board. We spoke about brain drain in that area of in the country, and how Nigerian doctors, even nurses, are moving out en masse to other countries in search of greener pastures. I think if they are given what they actually need in Nigeria, and the
they might not have to
move. You know, I always say this: Nigeria is the only place where you have money and you can enjoy your money. So if they are wealthy,
you think so?
Yes, it's the only place you can enjoy your money. So if they are wealthy,
you think so?
Yes, it's the only place where you can have, enjoy your money.
Really?
That's why you see most Nigerians in the diaspora, they want to have fun. They come to Nigeria.
Don't intend to travel out anytime?
I don't intend to travel. I don't intend to travel to go and be a second-class citizen anywhere. Okay. This is the only place I can be a Nigerian. I can be a first-class citizen, and my rights will be respected.
Are we really
first-class citizen, and my rights will be respected?
Are we really first-class citizens? Yeah?
Yes, we are first-class citizens in Nigeria. If you know how to, see, there are some times when you feel like if they don't, the fact that there hasn't been too much sensitization, too many people don't know their rights, and that's why you see their rights being trampled upon by usually trample on people's rights, and you talk to them, they know this one knows his right, and then they withdraw somehow. You know what I mean? I know you know what I mean. I know you have experienced that before. I've experienced that before.
All right, still from the Nigerian Tribune, Chimugu declares hunger strike as EFCC confirms arrest. And you can find this story on page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune.
I think this trend has to stop in Nigeria. Honestly,
the hunger strike?
It has to stop. It's not just about hunger strike. You see a person who has been accused of stealing at that time, that such person will slump while being questioned. It will be at that time that you see all sorts of lies like snakes swallowed, See, it's... they have to understand that we are also humans and that we have common sense too. And then they should know that these things do not work for people. Things do not work for people in some corners of the country. So this should not be a case of going in some corners of the country. So this should not be a case of going on hunger strike for what? Please do. We don't have to see all these stories on the front page of the newspaper where someone says, okay, this is Nigeria.
Okay. I told Atiku about my exit from PDP. He is leaving too. This is coming from the former governor of Delta State, Ifeanyi Okowa, who has just, made that great move.
Switch to the All Progressive Congress.
APC. All right, it goes with the riders. PDP vows legal battle. The committee appoints South caretaker to oversee state chapter. You can find the story on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, no attempted invasion, Boko Haram invasion in Oyo State. Trending video outdated, Oyo Police Command says. That's on page 15 of the Nigerian Tribune. They are now in town en masse, and then probably they are trying to settle down and see exactly how they can carry out their attacks. But then the police commander is saying, look, if you have seen a video anywhere on social media, it is null and void. It's an old video, and we are handling the situation at this time. So we also want to tell bloggers at this time, you know, it's always good to look for clickbait. You want people to view your videos. You want people to actually come to your blog and source for information. Please do it the right way.
Do it the right way, because this can cause a lot of panic.
They have actually sent your state, and that is not meant to say reporting a story. How to report a story the right way, and then you have to be true to your stories. You have to be sure that that particular.
Last, this is coming from the Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, and you can find the story on page 29. With the rider appreciates Tinubu's wife for ICT Center in Ibadan.
Yeah, she was in Ibadan yesterday, in the company of so many other dignitaries. The governor was also, Oni of Ife was around. The newly crowned Alaafin of Oyo was also there. So it was, you know, a meeting of the who knows who in Oyo State, and then the First Lady was also around to say, look, this is what we have in plan. And an ICT Center commissioned
great one
in Oyo State. It's a great one.
I pray it is well implemented.
Well, we do hope that Naira to workers' salaries. You'll find that story on page 30 of the Nigerian Tribune. I think we spoke about states who have not even been able to pay the new minimum wage. And it has been a trend. When there was 12,000 naira minimum wage, some states barely paid.
Exactly.
When it was 18,000 naira minimum wage, some states could not meet up with that. Probably they could, but they didn't.
Exactly my point. I want to say, is it that they couldn't, or they just didn't want to?
That's the idea now. You have never seen money before, and someone pays you 70,000 naira. You have never seen money before, and someone pays you 70,000 naira minimum wage. Will you survive for how many days with that 70,000? Think about that before you disenfranchise so many, employees of the states, employees of the local government, of fuel subsidy on the part of private business owners in the country. We should talk about things that really matter.
Okay. Oh, Samson is on fire this morning. It's still Daybreak Live, and we're still on the newspaper review. Okay, so Atiku will soon defect, says Okawa, as PDP heads to court. This is also coming from the Blueprint newspaper.
All right, also on the Blueprint newspaper this morning, FCTA crushes 601 impounded motorcycles. This is another story you'll find on page 7 of the Blueprint newspaper this morning. Okay, from the sources of livelihood of some people, 601 people was crushed. All right.
I mean, why do they have to crush them?
That's the problem. We have
I know sometimes they put all these, you know, impounded vehicles or motorcycles for sale.
You know, sometimes
what's it called?
Auction this.
Exactly, that's the word. How do you crush somebody's sweat, even if they have committed a crime? Is it? I mean, I don't know where this comes from.
That's the destructive idea we have in Nigeria.
You just crush.
I spoke about some model.
It makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense than destroying them.
No, this is very, very unfair.
Away from there, we'll take another story on the Blueprint newspaper this morning, and there says Dangote Sugar grows turnover by 51% to provide 75,000 jobs in Nigeria. That story is on page 20 of the Blueprint newspaper this morning. I think that's a good news for, you know, intending job seekers in the country, especially
more
fresh
jobs for
graduates.
People. Exactly. All right, on the bottom part of the Blueprint newspaper, federal government witness testifies in camera as Kano terrorism trial commences.
That's on page 10. This is a case that has lasted a long time. I think that it started, you know, a few years ago under the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari, and has been elongated to the tenure of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is about 2 years in office. Still has 2 years to go. We'll see it takes us to finish a case, and that also talks about the fact that we don't have enough judges and we don't have enough courts. Some cases they are not meant to go so long.
Exactly.
Yeah, it has to be, you know, attended to in the short period of time. That's why you see so many people still being remanded in prison, whereas their case should not take probably
take
a
that
month
long.
or two, and then
Well, I
they're
mean,
done.
for this Kanu's case, at least
It's-
the trial has
it's
started.
it's
It's
has
long
started.
overdue, so
Yeah.
let's see where it heads to. I think from the Blueprint, we'll head over now to the New Telegraph. The New Telegraph, the main story there is kidnappers using crypto betting.
The notes, and then you begin to have different sides of the story, from one corner and then another from the other. But we should be able to track funds in Nigeria way better than we do. If someone has paid a kidnapper through a certain channel, there should be a means of tracking. I mean, why do we have the NIN? Why do we have the BVN? Some people have the driver's license. Some people have an international passport. These are means of identification that people have actually used to create bank accounts, to create, even some betting platforms now will now request for some valid identification. Meaning, if you have paid into a betting platform, there should be a back end where they track who took this money and through which channel it was funneled out.
You know, 2 days ago, so we read something in the paper that said, you know, about 17 people. There was this news had the same BVN. So, you know, I was surprised that day. How can people use the same? That means, is it that the BVN issue has been compromised?
That's
because
the
that
question.
is very strange to me, because your BVN or your NIN should stand you out.
You have to ask the question, are these two still a means of identification in Nigeria, a genuine means of identification? Because if, you know, in a government parastatal, there are 17 people, or a lot of them, who use the same BVN, then who verified them?
Terrible.
All right, let's take another story this morning. Anticipated military operations, North Central neutralize security threats. You'll find that story on page 2 and page 5 of the New Telegraph this morning.
Also coming from the New Telegraph on page 4, Senator Kalu, that is Ojus Okalu, begins additional 2-kilometer road project in Abia North.
Well, there are senators and there are senators.
I
There
think
are
a lot of people are
lawmakers
doing.
and
Well,
there are
we have been
lawmakers.
reading
There are
today.
governors and there are governors. Yeah. Then when you will know that you know, you are exactly doing what your people have actually sent you to the National Assembly to do, to any office. He was the only senator from the APC that won, you know, his seat in Dapa. He won his own senatorial district and delivered it to his political party, meaning that his people actually wanted him back there. Whichever way he did it, I don't know. But then it's more intelligent. But for a person to have been chosen to represent us, it means that there is a reason. And then you must deliver.
You must deliver.
You must deliver.
Okay, great.
From there, this morning, governor's call activation of new revenue formula. You find that story on page 3 of the New Telegraph, and you find a picture of the governor. The PDP are doing the. You find a picture of the governor. The PDP are doing the emotional appeal right now. The PDP are doing the emotional appeal right now. You know, emotional appeal right now. You know, trying to ring Nigerians.
It's just like we said when we started the show, and it's still ringing in my head, and I hope that, you know, our guests will be able to do justice.
Giving it to you. So nobody should have pity on PDP at this time. They are probably look into how to make sure that our people, and then this is now a place. Me, I'm not in support of sexual harassment. It's one thing that I've always hated in my life.
But why haven't they tried to check this sexual harassment accusation?
If they are checking the accusation, will you provide the same evidence that corroborates your facts? Accusation, will you provide the same evidence that corroborates your facts? There has to be an evidence that corroborates the fact that you have been sexually harassed.
Sweeping everything under the carpet.
No, if she can provide these evidences, I don't think there's anybody in Nigeria that wants you to sweep.
And then,
what these are evidences
what evidence
that's the
will
point.
she provide?
That's the point.
And then tomorrow, you people, sorry, you know, Nigerians will say,
I think the
she has spoken now, and yeah, she's being bashed.
Maybe if she did, then she probably would have
provided. The ones that talk when it happened, what happened to them?
And I know she knows better. She knows beyond reasonable doubt.
For new constitution, you'll find that story on page 6.
All right, let's take this story. I think this is a follow-up of the story that we read yesterday. And then says failed water projects. Nigeria to pay.
e-money over naira dollar abuse. You can find this on page 7. Did you see the video?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a trending
With
video.
flavor.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do in Nigeria. Nobody should be bigger than the law, no matter how rich or mighty
they came for him. Say they
It's
followed
not
him
just
one time, and he closed his gate against them until they had to come again. This one, they carried him with a warrant.
I think the idea of you saying you can do whatever currency in the country,
Spraying of
for abusing the naira. If Terry Akpala, who is a celebrity singer, can be arrested for abusing the naira, I think it's a way to prove that we're doing our job. And then it's not about selective prosecution. It's about doing the job as, it has been enshrined in the Constitution. I mean, the standing rule against hijack. All right, and we'll take this one to Tunisia. You'll find that story on the blueprints. And we go on a short break. Don't forget you can be a part of the conversation by joining us on alldominion.org.ng. There you can watch and listen to us live. And then you can also watch us live on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel at Dominion Broadcast and Dominion Cast. The show is still Daybreak Live on Dominion Television. Thank you for being a part of the show so far. We now head straight to that part of the show where we'll bring you unbiased analysis and undiluted reportage. Keep it locked on this dial. We'll be back after this time out. All right. Threatened the political structures in the country. And to do that with us this morning, we have the gubernatorial candidate of the Labour Party in Oyo State.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure being here.
Good morning, sir. Welcome to Daybreak Live on Dominion Television.
Good morning, ma. It's my pleasure here.
I want to talk about election in the country. We have talked about the history of defection in the country. We have talked about how this started, this one. And then the question is, will this current wave of defection, affect the political parties they are living?
As a politician, I now went to the rationale behind it. Now discovered that, remember somebody these days, I think he actually was a governor when the president, incumbent, was also governor of Lagos State. And that is person of James Ibori. James Ibori was in prison in London, or the States.
Political landscape in the States.
Exactly. So he installed Governor Okowa. He installed Governor Okowa. That was the beginning. So, and Governor Okowa was so loyal to Ibori, and that was why when he came back from prison. So, and they continued in that line to the extent that they both decided that James Ibori had to approach
over I will check the fact figures.
It should be a billion naira.
It's billions of naira.
Billions of naira. So, and somebody who knows what could have been the consequences of such an huge case need to come down.
What they have to
get what they want. Position a way to actually deliver.
Yes,
not all of them.
I think we agreed on some of them.
Yes, some of
now,
them.
Let's go back to memory lane, talking about defections in Nigeria and how catastrophic it has been for some political parties. One of the most prominent cross-carpeters has moved between PDP, Kwara State, who was also at one time the Senate president, left the PDP for APC in 2014, then returned to PDP in 2018. Aminu Tambuwa, former speaker of the PDP for APC in 2014, then returned to PDP in 2018. Aminu Tambuwa, former speaker of the House and current governor of Sokoto State, left PDP for APC in 2014, then returned to PDP in 2018. Rabiu was PDP for APC in 2018. He is still a member of the APC. And now, Godwin Obaseki versus Oshiomhole of Edo State. APC. And now, Godwin Obaseki versus Oshiomhole of Edo State. In 2020, affected this constitution and how Nigerian politicians have been able to use that lacuna to their own advantage. They know nothing is going to happen if they cross carpet. Legislators are moving from one political party to the other, and nothing has happened in Nigeria.
So the judiciary should interpret. We're asking if the judiciary to interpret this, more strictly on this.
Politicians.
Now there are two factions now in PDP. The Supreme Court has agreed that one person is the authentic secretary, and members of democracy has not been matured enough.
Since 1999,
yes.
The return of democracy.
How many years?
Yes,
It's not
still not
matured enough.
It's not matured enough because it took America 200 years to be matured.
Okay, so we need to get, maybe we have to get 300 years.
We are getting some now. We are not getting time. We are not talking about porous constitution. We are not talking about porous ideologies. We are not talking about various unsustainable ideals by various political parties, especially in Nigeria. Formation of political parties in Nigeria, the one we are holding now since 1999, the constitutions of 3 political parties was drafted by one we are talking about ACN then, or AC, or AD, sorry.
Who drafted this constitution?
The late Bola Ige drafted all these constitutions. So, you're talking about you are talking about an ideal situation, people will not be cross-carpeting because you must have individuals who will be cross-carpeting because you must have individuals who governs us. Politicking, your own way of thinking.
And nothing will stop you.
Nothing will stop you.
There's no law under any political party.
Nothing.
No standing rule.
No standing rule that you cannot leave.
And then where is the place of political ideologies for an individual that joins a political party? You join the Progressive Party because you feel like you have the same identity and all of a sudden you decide to leave, go to a conservative, join Labour.
That's what. And
it's just by name.
It's by name.
It's a bold claim you are making this morning.
Exactly.
So the progressives are not progressive at all.
I'm telling you, they are progressive in the way of division, in terms of.
Or progressive for themselves alone.
No. They are progressive in terms of, segregating them from other political parties.
Are you saying when you joined Labour, you joined because you just want to join the political party to win an election?
The reason why I joined. So I felt, okay, which political party is relevant to my union? Because I was a member of senior civil servants. So as a result, okay, I felt like, okay, Labour Party was formed by NUC and NLC. NUT, no, Nigeria Union, Labour Congress,
NLC.
and NLC, and TUC. They are the one that formed the Labour Party. In fact, the three reasons why Labour movement was formed in this advice suggests the reason why I joined was because that was the place I belonged as at that time.
Meaning you can cross carpet to another political party.
I'm already in another party.
Which political party are you now?
I'm already in another party.
Which party is that?
Because it is not something that we have to wait for. No, I was no longer a civil servant.
Oh, so you joined that just because you were a civil servant?
Yes, it's about, I just told you now why I joined APC.
You have always been an APC member.
And I've always been a member of APC.
You needed a place to contest.
Because I left political terrain, I became a civil servant.
So
I
you
became
joined
a
Labour Party.
You understand? I became a career officer. So I joined the party that suits my situation at that time. So in essence, people belong to political parties of their choice based on their interests.
So for now, I mean, you are in APC, you could, tomorrow, your ideals will change and you move to some other party.
My ideal remains if it's a freedom of movement.
Okay, you mentioned something about constitution made by Chief Bola Ige, the late Chief Bola Ige. Now I'm asking, are you advocating for a new constitution? You think that constitution is not working anymore?
What I'm saying in essence is that just one person made the constitution
of
all three political parties.
Especially if you are an office holder in Nigeria who has been democratically elected to fill a political space.
Like the constitution said that you can leave except in PDP.
Can the PDP?
The president knows the need.
You are saying nobody can defeat the president in the next election?
Nobody. I can say it clearly. Nobody. The president is somebody that has gone through necessary tutelage. He passed through, patiently, and he could recall that he was not favorable as a candidate of destiny just plays both. If he played his game and destiny does not allow him, you cannot make it.
Who says destiny allowed it?
Because it happened.
No.
Because it happened.
You know how Nigerian politics are now.
Whatever they play it, he played along and he made it. Not the best, but he's going to be the next president. That's what I'm saying.
Whether you like it or not, whether Nigerians like it or not.
No, we will like it because what he's doing.
But a lot of Nigerians are complaining right now.
Of course, people will complain because, you see, let me tell you a scenario. Previous presidents are just patching it. They're just patching it. To do? He came to remove that chartered clothes.
With the suffering,
we are going to
hike in food prices.
We are going to face challenges. By the time they remove your clothes, is either rain beats you or some beat. Nobody will.
When are we getting exactly my point?
By the grace of God, we are wearing.
You are not sure.
I'm saying by the grace of God.
When's the next
we have the clothes already.
Okay, we have not started wearing.
the set of people, they did not realize what they wanted. Now that he also wanted himself as the president, you know what happened. But is he
Let me ask you this question before we go, because you have to
knows that the only person that
can stop him
that can since 1999
29.
and also influence on other states and other senators, even you know, across the zones. So this is what made Tinubu to be
a short break. But before then, don't forget you can watch us live on our YouTube channel at Dominion Broadcast. Subscribe to that YouTube channel, and then you can also watch us on other social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. The show is still Daybreak Live on Dominion Television. We'll go on a short break, and when we return, we go straight to Trend Watch this morning. We'll be back after this time out.
All right, welcome back. It's still Daybreak Live on Dominion Television. Right now, we'll go over to Boluwaji Ogumola, who is on standby for Daybreak Sports.
Well, good morning to you, Abby, and good morning to Samson. It's a lovely, lovely Wednesday morning, and the time again to talk sport on the sports segment of Daybreak Live. Well, quite a lot to talk about on the show this lovely morning. Yes, the night after the big win for Paris Saint-Germain against Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium. But we'll come back to that. Let's start from home this morning and talk about the Nigerian National League. That was the second tier of Nigerian League football. They call it the most important league in Nigeria. Whether you support that or not, well, we get to find out. But then the news is that the Nigerian National League has expelled 1472 Football Club for further participating in the 2024-2025 NNL season. Now, the matches, the reason is because they actually failed to honor 3 league matches. Well, the matches were the games against Abia Comet, Dakada Football Club, and Ijele Football Club. The league body disclosed this in a letter sent by its Chief Operating Officer, Danlami Alanana. Well, according to the letter, they were also fined 5 million naira. NNL also nullified all results of the matches played by the club, and also all their unplayed matches have all been cancelled. That's a big move coming from the Nigerian National League this morning as regards 1472 being thrown out of the league. Well, from there, let's go to the home of the MPFL champions, where Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen has gifted Remo Stars 10 million naira for winning the 2024-2025 Nigerian Premier Football League title. Osimhen doled out 5 million naira to the players and another 5 million naira to the technical crew. The Galatasaray striker also congratulated the players and praised them for their good work all season long. Don't forget, Remo Stars on Sunday, courtesy of their win over Niger Tornadoes at the Remo Stars Stadium, won the title, first privately owned club to win it in 25 years. And we say kudos to them for that. And of course, a big one from our own Victor Osimhen for appreciating the boys. From the male league, let's talk about the Nigeria Women Football League this morning, where it's the end of the regular season in the Nigerian Women Football League today. The final game, and decisions have been made. Let me inform you that some teams are already through to the Super 6, where we have 5 teams to be precise are through to the Super 6. And there you have them. Edo Queens through to the Super 6. Nasarawa Amazons, Remo Stars Ladies, Bayelsa Queens, and Rivers Angels. Just one more slot to fill, and that's between FC Robo Queens and Niger Rattles. Now, the games involving those 2 teams will be played simultaneously today. Yes, because all of the games will definitely be played together. Let's take a look at fixtures in the Nigerian National League, Nigerian Women Football League for today. It's the end of the regular season, and we're so excited about it this morning. Edo Queens was logged out with Conference Queens, 4 p.m. at the Samuel Ogumina Stadium in Benin City. In Ilorin, Ekiti Queens will slug out with Abia Angels, while Atlat Queens will be the host of Nasarawa Amazons. Remo Stars Ladies will slug out with Danas Ladies. And in Group B, where Rivers Angels will entertain Benue Queens at the Adokie Amesimaka Stadium, while Adama Queens will slug it out with Ibom Angels at the Pantami Stadium in Gombe. Niger Rattles versus Bayelsa Queens game, 3 p.m. at the FCT, that's the Buhari City Stadium, same time as FC Robo Queens versus Delta Queens match at the Onikon Stadium, 3 p.m. today. 2 games. Don't forget that a lot is at stake in those 2 matches. Niger Rattles, Robo Queens, all gone in for the big one, and as the remaining 1 sole tickets left for them in their group. That's Group B. Don't forget that Super 6 is where we'll have the eventual champion of the Nigeria Women Football League for this very season. From there, let's cross to Egypt, where the Flying Eagles head coach Ali Zubair has declared that his team will go for maximum points against Tunisia later tomorrow. The 7-time champions will begin their campaign at the 2025 Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations against the young Carthage Eagles later tomorrow at the June 30 Stadium in Cairo on Thursday. Nigeria defeated Tunisia. Of course, Nigeria defeated Tunisia's North African rivals, that's Egypt, in their preparatory game coming into this competition. And there you have the fixtures involving our boys as the Flying Eagles of Nigeria. Tomorrow, Thursday, they have a date with Tunisia. Morocco will slug it out with Nigeria. That's the 4th of May. That's on Sunday. And next Wednesday, it's Nigeria versus Kenya. We're looking forward to all of those fixtures. But before that, later today, the competition definitely continues as far as the under-20 African combination is concerned in Egypt. Don't forget that Ivory Coast pulled out of that hosting that competition. I mean, for reasons best known to them. But let me take you back to Sunday when the competition started. Zambia and Sierra Leone played out a goalless draw. Oh, and of course, Egypt defeated South Africa by a single goal. Yeah, more games will definitely be played later on today. Let's take a look at them. Sierra Leone will take on Egypt today. Well, first off, let's take a look at the table. Egypt, of course, the first game they won against South Africa. They're topping the table. Zambia have 1 point following their draw against Sierra Leone in their opening game. And then Sierra Leone, 1 point as well. Tanzania, no points. South Africa, no point. And today, games will be played at the competition. Sierra Leone will take on Egypt today at 9 p.m. While at 6 p.m. it's South Africa taking on Tanzania. And of course, you can take a look at all of the schedule and to stay abreast with all of the games coming up at the competition. It's the under-20 African combinations, and trust us on Dominion Television to continue to bring you up to speed with all of that and many more. Well, let's move away from the competition and take a quick look at updates coming from the world of tennis this lovely morning, where Novak Djokovic will not be part of the Italian Open next week in another blow for the 24-time Grand Slam winners. Of course, as he prepares for the Roland Garros, Djokovic has competed in Rome in every season since 2007 and has won the event 6 times, most recently in 2022. All right, away from that this morning, let's move on to the world of boxing, where heavyweight boxer Daniel Dubois, his trainer, told Alexander Usyk yesterday during their press conference that he conned the boxing world as the 2-time champions met in London, of course, yesterday ahead of their undisputed title fight, holding on the 19th of July, that's on a Saturday at the Wembley Stadium. It was a lot during the press conference yesterday. Dubois' team attacking Alexander Usyk ahead of that one. And that's what we want to see, right? We want that fantastic build-up before a major boxing bout like that. I mean, it's an undisputed heavyweight boxing fight. I mean, what's that kind of fight without a major build-up? We're looking forward to that and many more. All right, a quick one coming from the La Liga. Let's return to the world of football right now and tell you that Real Madrid defender Antonio Rudiger has been handed a 6-game ban for his red card in their 3-2 loss to Barcelona in the Copa del Rey final. However, his teammate Jude Bellingham has seen his sending off rescinded. That's the situation as far as that is concerned. All right, let's go to the UEFA Champions League. Yesterday at the Emirates Stadium, Paris Saint-Germain handed Arsenal a 1-0 loss in the first leg of the UEFA Champions League semi-final. Ousmane Dembele got the winner in the 4th minute of that encounter. And later tonight, it's Barcelona versus Inter Milan. We're back to Samson and Abby this morning. And that's sports.
Thank you so much, Boluwaji, for that sporting news. And it's still Daybreak Live, but right now it's time to go. Thank you so much to our wonderful viewers watching us. Thank you for staying with us. I hope you had a wonderful show on Daybreak Live today. Until next time, my name is Abby Dickinson. God bless Nigeria.
All right, I want to tell you that it's Wednesday, halfway to your goals. Keep pushing, stay focused, and let your effort today set the tone for the rest of the day, of the week. Samson Balogun is my name. Until tomorrow, we shall be meeting again. Stay safe. Bye for now.